following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1. When you hear the word OG, you think of the original Gangsters. But for Peter Onjack and Austin Riders, this one means a little bit special. Let's flash back all the way back to 2023. All the way back in April. Peter Onjack comes off the highest point of his career. A March champion, a March trophy, when the league was, who knows what it was. Still growing, still budding. And then all of a sudden, here comes Austin Riders, a tournament debutant, to knock him off his throne. Riders got the first revenge, but can Peter even up the score 2 years later? We've seen past history. We've seen past things. But now, into the tunnel of the unknown, enters the darkness as we go into prime time, Vintage Uno. Hello everybody and welcome to Peter versus Riders, the Gangsta versus the Coach. It's going to be a good one tonight. These two guys know each other, OGs from the league, combined 27 combined tournaments. A lot of history on the line right here for both the Gangsta and, of course, the Coach. We'll go into that match preview. As we have said, we talked about this is a rematch. 4-4 for Peter at that drip bell back in T4. 1-4 for Riders. Peter, of course, looking to improve on that 31st from last year in T5. They make it to round 2, then got torched by Brad, and then Riders lost to Caesar after it was an Eli DQ, and Eli was going through his problems. Peter 4-3 according to the CPU. We'll see how this one goes tonight. Like I said, a rematch of 2023 April. For Peter, it's pretty simple. His season's been good. That Nick win, good win against Goldie, but he's had some tough losses. The Aria one sticks out for sure. Tough one to Gold. Should not say. If you see on the screen, double Gold. He's had some tough losses. Really just been back and forth with it all season, man. He's been back and forth with it on the edge. Let's see if he can find a statement tonight. And for Coach, he's also looking to find a statement because he's had some unfortunate losses too. A lot of 4-1s, but a lot of close things too. Clay was a close one. Sanford was close. Sure, he was out to lunch by G and Cap. Maybe he was out to lunch a little bit. Sorry, I should say G. That's last year, not Dark. It was G. But he has been close in playing the tough guys close, and he gets a familiar foe in good old Peter Onjack, which, at the end of the day, it's going to be interesting because you look at this matchup on paper, we have the OG style of the Gangster with the number efficiency and Coach. He's pretty good with the flair for the antics. Should be a good one, regardless on that end. We'll go to the pod, and I'll talk about the schedule in a minute. The only 7 seed to win this entire first round, because we're done with the 7-10s, was Cody Lamas over Bo 4-2, and that's it. Tapir squeaked by. Winner will get Tapir. That means no matter who wins this game, they'll be on the road. Tapir locking it down as the 3 seed. But so far, it's been chalk for the most part. Will it continue tonight? We'll find out. Schedule, I don't have it with me because we never got an updated schedule, but I'll kind of quickly, briefly read off the games. We started it way, way back today, all the way at the beginning point of the day. As I'm just going to pull it up here. There we go. It's for you guys to review. All the way back earlier this morning, we started it up with a classic game between Goldie Captain at 11 a.m. And for Goldie, it was a tough outing. Captain found a way in less than 20 minutes to figure out the series. And then it was Lamas Bo, as mentioned. Lamas taking care of business 4-2. In a back-and-forth game, Lamas ultimately pulled through. And then Brian Hockey was an insane game, but Brian got the job done tonight, or got the job done this afternoon. And then it's Andy Drip. Great game, classic Uno, but it was at the end of the day. Andy taking care of business in a 4-2. And that leads us to this last game before the 9 o'clock game, which will be Nick and Steven. But remember, that's a non-stream, so don't worry about that. That leaves us here with Rogers. That leaves us here with Peter, the Gangsta. And that leads us to the booth. Let's get down to it. Joining me in the booth is going to be my main man, Art, and Yoshi is our ref, and our two players in the game. Art, I got to go to you. This is a match we both saw, man. I remember you reffing 2 years ago this game. Now it's a little full circle moment. What are you expecting here tonight? Because this is not 2 years ago. That was an old bot. They were just learning the strategies. What are you expecting between Peter and Rogers round 2? Can Rogers go 2-0 in his career on Peter? Thoughts on that?
Well, here's the thing. Technically, this is a rematch. Even though this first time around was 2 years ago, I think you got to expect the unexpected with this sort of matchup. Because you got the styles of Peter Onjack versus a style of Rogers. Really, this is going to be one of those sorts of matchups where you're just wanting to sit on back, relax, and enjoy maybe one of those sort of classic games where you got two not identical players, but that can almost play that same sort of strategy.
Well, that's the thing. We're not identical, but same sort of strategy. We're going to find out what that strategy is going to be because we've seen it before. Art. Just because you have a strategy built and ready to roll doesn't always mean it's going to be the winning strategy to get the job done. And you look at for both players. Coach, obviously, nowhere near Super League. He's just kind of biding his time, hoping for an upset to pull the spoiler. And then you got Peter, who, sure, he may have been out the top 30 now, but he's got something to fight for. That's build a run, try to get to that second round, play where it lies. Tapir is a big opportunity waiting for both. So we'll see how this one goes. Let's go quickly to our players, and then we'll get down to the table here. We'll start it off with Coach. Coach, obviously, welcome back to the booth. Welcome back to the table, man. Obviously, a long time ago since you last played Peter. What have you learned in those 2 years, and what are you expecting tonight? Because this isn't the usual Coach Rogers we know. A lot of your games have been close this year. You've been close on the brink. How are you going to get over the hump tonight?
I just think that experience that I've had, playing a couple games here and there these last couple of weeks and getting more PT time in, helps you get to know other people's strategy. It doesn't make you so rusty going into. I think Peter is absolutely a really good opponent here in Uno, one of the best, one of the OGs. Like at the end of the day, like you got to understand that you aren't going to win every tournament. You're not going to win every game, but at some time, if I go another Game 7 and lose, I'm going to lose my mind. So I'm on 3 straight Game 7 losses. Can we try to change that? Hopefully we don't make it to a Game 7 and I get this win early.
Yeah, that's the same with Coach. He's been there. And Peter, ironically, the last 2 losses have been Game 7s or 9s with the Gold and Drip. How do you try to change your fortune? Because you're also in a very small, slim chance to, I believe, get the class championship. That's going to take a lot. But regardless, your thoughts on just trying to focus on tonight, one game at a time, and try to get revenge on Austin? Because 2 years ago was a different time. You were cooking, man, a long time ago, back in March and off the top, and now you're playing for your Super League life. Talk me through it.
Revenge doesn't matter. It's been so long. Anything from back then, it's the league has changed so much. So, sure, it's a storyline, but it's not what I'm focusing on. I'm going into this game with the same focus I always do of, play Uno. I get what I get, and, if my style matches up well, great. If it doesn't, then I got to work around that. Definitely, if I have to focus on something specifically, I don't want to lose at the very last game of a series again, because like you said, KT, I've done that twice now, my last 2 tournaments, so it's going to be interesting. The rush is a big thing because I think I've been able to shake it off pretty good throughout these tournaments, especially the ones I get knocked out early in, but it's there. It is there coming into tonight, and if I got to worry about one thing, it's that.
Interesting. The rust is there for Peter, and you hear about that, Art. You don't really hear that about a player saying that off the top, but at the same time, this is Peter Rogers. This is an OG game, and you heard it's a storyline. He basically said it's a storyline. It doesn't matter to me. I'm ready to roll and rock. And I'm interested to see how this first game will be. If Peter's rusty and Coach doesn't even know what the style could be, even though number efficiency we know is in the backdoor Peter, we could be in for a fireworks show, as you said earlier. What's your thoughts on that before we start?
Oh, if that's the mindset of these two, I say let's just get it on. It's going to be one of those sort of things that I'm waiting to see.
All right, I think it's time to rock and roll. Let's get it done. Here we go, boys. Yoshi's our ref. It's 2-2-1-1-1. Gangsta, I've done this so many times in your career. What's it going to be for game one?
Been going with the even starts lately, so I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go odd. Let's go 11.
All right. Double ones for Peter. Let's see what we got. Or take the call. I'll give you the call, buddy.
All right, here we go. Game number 1 here, and we're going to start with a wild +4. Wow.
What did I just say? Our fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks, and we start off big.
The bot says, all right, you like fireworks? We'll get you some fireworks right here.
I like Rogers. Holy cow. Holy smokes.
Throw out the little big brother unexpected. He threw that out earlier.
Yoshi,
oh, wow. Double play here. Immediately.
Hold on, let me get the scoreboard. I'll get you the link. You'll hook me up on that one. Give me 1 second. I gotta get the scoreboard up.
All right, so
there we go. Here you go.
Now Rogers, +2 into the red 4 right there.
Yeah, just make sure. Just gonna make sure the scoreboard's good. Just waiting for Yoshi to operate. Then I'll get back in the booth. But red 1 here now from Peter as I'll go through my split screen device. Coach, now let's see what he'll do. He'll fire into there's the Gangsta, the blue one.
Yeah, here we go, over into blue.
Yeah, this is going to be a game of light switching, number efficiency, yard, all the shebang, all the shaboodle, all those words you want to throw out as we go into green forward cap. This is going to be a high octane game of number of fish. As there's the scoreboard operating perfect.
Now we're over into the green here. It looks like they're going to probably try to run with it.
I mean, right now you got to think here, Rogers. Rogers is definitely going to play more aggressive. He wants to establish control. Peter going to try to establish it back. There's a triple. And just like that, the pendulum swings in Peter's favor. This is going to be the game. Who wants control? I think that's what's going to be the storyline tonight.
And here's the thing. It's not just going to be just a single game that's going to decide control here. We're going to see how long this can go because the pendulum's going to keep on moving back and forth.
Game 1 power play on the board. Peter decides to play it clean and get ISO'd out for now. He does a little self-JT dry. But Coach is going to free it up for him. Back to the Zach 2.
Yeah, back over the red here. Let's see if that actually works. I believe it was actually Roger. Yeah, Roger switched it off the red, and he goes back to it.
I mean, where do you go from here? Peter juiced again. Coach running.
Coach on the move.
Coach on the loose. Can he stay hot in the moment? Let's find out. Does he have a big strike right here? Coach looking for 3 or 2. Let's see.
He's tapping for a bid.
That's not a finish, but that's a triple play. Humongous play.
But he gave 4 extra cards here to Peter.
I'll be on the Yoshi to Brock, yeah.
I wouldn't start thinking here that Peter's down and out yet.
No, this is Peter Gangster Onjack. You cannot count this guy out. He'll have something to fire back, or at the very least, a number efficient play. Let's see. There it is. Fires right back. Turnaround fair play. Art. There's Tago. There's Clay. Into Nick.
Plus it's now thrown at Coach, and we're all tied up.
Coach now, 4 freshies of his own. Back and forth we go on the plussers. Here he comes.
He actually got a +6 thrown his way. That's what happened with him.
Yep. My bad. I'm making sure that our game goes off. There's a +2. A lot of managing. Remember, we have another game coming up in 15 minutes. I want to make sure our check-in's good. Yoshi, can you keep an eye on that a little bit, man? If at around 8:50, if they don't check in. I forgot who the ref for that. I think it's Caesar. Just want to keep it in mind. But here we go. Back to this game. Blue Zero Sugar. Into Ed. We go to Andy, who just won a little bit earlier. Peter over to Monkey. There's the switch. Another one.
Oh boy, over the Monkey here. What does Rogers do here? Oh, moves it over to Red.
The +2 from Peter. Here comes Coach. Well, we have our response. A lot of freshies, and there's the +2 erase. So this is about control. I'm already seeing with the card history, looking at this too, it's all about control tonight. Both guys want to establish control. And when 3 +4s are off the board within 5 minutes, that's your answer right there. Peter with the wild.
But look at that. There's the Llama's Wild. He won earlier today.
He won earlier today. Gonna have a big game in Grimland with him. Looking forward to that. Here comes Peter with the Zero Sugar and a drip. Saw him lose today. With a great battle. Coach now, can he get protective here on the Zero Sugar? He will. Still more to tank on yellow. So Peter maybe thinking Coach ran out. Coach came prepared.
Well, we'll keep seeing here.
What will Coach have to check? Does he have it?
Yeah, I think Peter's looking to be prepared just in case.
+4, that's game, 100%. All 4 +4s used. How about that? Or is that all?
Wow.
Or is it 3? No, 3.
No, that was all 4 because we had the one at the start.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's right. So technically all 4. That's right. On the stats, it's 2-1. Had that +4. He had a couple. Coach, I got to go to you, man. Really good control right there. Sorry for a delay. I'm glad Caesar's checked in. Just wanted to make sure that was good. Yoshi, you can move that to game too, buddy. Really good control there. You really wanted to establish it. Talk to me on the initial start, going with the red and matching it with the +2. Is that just confidence, knowing you had the +4 kicker and wanted to get to an early lead?
Yeah, I want to take advantage early. I think if you have control of the pace and you know you have that card advantage, that no matter what, that it's hard for him to finish over top of you. If that makes sense, he has to go over have the cards you have. So like he has to have a absolutely godly hand in order to go through what you have. So I'm hoping that I can keep the distance from him and then just keep going on from there.
I mean, you look at this, Peter. Obviously, you mentioned, appreciate that, Coach. You mentioned the rust. You mentioned a little bit of more, I guess, seismic plays. Talk to me about maybe just edging off the rush. You did have you had some good cards to work with, but do you think you were more in a defensive position after Coach bade you to become more of a control game? How do you try to get it back in your court and maybe make it a less of a control game and more of number efficiency?
It was all ammo that game. He had a little bit more than me, but he also knew when to play it. I was always on the defense, and that's what kind of bit me. I wasn't really able to chain too much of it together because I'd throw one punch, I'd get one right back. It was just one of those games, and now I know what I need to do in game 2, so should be all fine.
That's interesting, Art, Monkey joins us. Good to see you, buddy, by the way. #1 player in the league right now. It's just interesting to think about here, Art. You heard Coach say it. He had a little bit of that ammo control, and then Peter basically said, hey, I was on defense more. And when I'm on defense more sometimes, you got to know when to time it. Do you think the timing could also come into play in that? We know control is going to be key for Coach, but how do you think Peter can adjust to the timing? Is it just simply get more ammo, or do you think he can play some number efficient plays and really play that ISO game? Because that yellow wild, the ISO, I thought he had him for a second, but Coach was able to bait him.
I think it's going to be a number efficiency and ISO strategy, but also sort of think of the right sort of moves there to get to those sorts of ideas with the ISO plays.
Well, so far it's Rogers up 1-0. Long way to go. We've seen it before, Art. We've seen people with the leads early, and then all of a sudden it can just flip on the script. So we'll see what happens here, as it will be once again Peter's call, free board. Gangsta, free board. What you got, my man?
I know what I need to do, and I don't want to use this card this early, but I'm going to have to. It's going to have to be a game 2 full send if I'm down 1-0.
Send, Ard. There it is,
Oh,
buddy.
oh Lord, here we go.
Hang on to your hats, my friend. The tunnel is going through darkness and the light, and a great starter off the full send.
Green reverse off the start.
Goldie to begin. Tough one for Goldie, obviously. Before we get into this game, recapping some of the Super League things, we talked about the rookie class. We obviously know Gone, but let's face it, he's volatile, zero sugar here. You got to think the one rookie that did shine this year is background. No offense to Gone, great season, but of course he never played the full season, which is not of his own doing. But background has to be the one rookie to watch. But back to this game, I think the one battle line to be drawn here, Art, you got to think is the switching. Does Peter initiate that switch first, or does Coach try to initiate for control? Let's keep a watch of that for sure. There we go.
I definitely agree. Let's keep watching it, see what's going to be that sort of key difference maker here in the rest of the games. Because I don't think it's going to be a short, sweet, to the point game here.
No. It's never linear with these two, man. These guys have been around, like I said, 27 combined tournament. Peter making his 15th career tournament. Coach making his, I believe, 14, so 29 actually. 29 tournaments. That's a lot of experience on the table tonight.
And they've gone through everything, really. They have gone from rule changes to new bots and all that. So they know that they've been part of the history.
Look at this. A Llama check wild from Peter. Yeah, Peter, 184 starts, 208 games played in his career. That's a lot, man. Coach, he may not have as many games played, but he's also got 100 games played. Remember, he just joined the 100 Club last tournament, so that's a lot of Uno. It's over 300 plus starts. That's a lot.
And it just shows how long these two have been around the block. They just know everything. But when you get these two into this sort of environment, just let them play.
There's a double. There's Yoshi into Steven. What will Peter have in a response? So far, he's been really, really excellent on the number efficiency. But he's going to go for a double and match it. Coach has had a little bit more control so far this game, or despite you would think this favoring out both parties. I think it's been controlled. Not much ammo here. More of a cleaner game.
That's kind of the thing that we were talking about after that first one, but now we're just seeing when do we kind of expect those extended plays where there's going to be action cards, cards that will give their opponents extras.
+2 from Peter. Let's find out. Does he throw that red for a reason? Taking his time loading up. Humongous player. This might be a finish. Reverse skip meta. Is this a finish from the Gangsta? No.
No. What a run, no.
That's a humongous run. How about that? Rainbow
reverses. Hey. Yeah, we had some Skittles right there.
Skittles on the reverses. Self-Skittles from Peter. Does Coach have an answer? Does he have an answer? Let's see.
I think with him, he probably does.
If he does have that answer, is it a case? Yep, there's the answer. And he's going to flush some of that stuff out there. That's big.
Plus, it's the Peter. Wow.
That's a statement and a half right there. Let's see what... yep, and it's back to yellow from Peter. Is that a good move? Coach for the save and the win? Oh, never mind. Wouldn't it matter? A huge, wild save in the end. They both had it. Big win for Coach. I got to go to Peter. Peter, what a move, though, to start, man. Rainbow skills, it almost worked. Did you have a power play potential finish, or just too early to use it to start off with?
I guess I could have. Oh, well. I had the wild. That would have been my last card. I just didn't think he had anything. I didn't think I was going to get out ammo 2 games in a row, and I did.
Yeah, so, we had the same plan. I mean, I had a wild inning too, but I was like, I don't think he's going to throw ammo at me right now. I think he's going to try to light switch me. And I was like, I have the wild, so whatever he plays,
right? You would have had the answer.
Yeah, that was my thought process. I was like, I'm not using power play yet. Or I mean, I guess I could have used it, but I didn't want to.
Well, Coach, I got to say that was interesting because the first initial get-go, you threw the triple play with the skips into the 5, and then you got lucky with Peter's first initial wow, which was the yellow. Did that benefactor you in a way? Because it did seem to open up and enable a little bit more on the back end compared to, let's say, the front end, excuse me, but the back end you were just able to run it down after that rainbow reverse there, which was insane to say the least.
Yeah, the initial yellow wild he played, I think earlier in the game, really helped me out with my game plan a little bit more. I mean, I think still that I had the ammo for the end of the game. I was just going to have to use one of those reverses to connect the end. If that makes sense?
Okay, yeah, no, I absolutely agree with what you're saying now because you look at this art, there definitely is a lot more. I think there's a lot more back end things we're looking at this game. Peter's definitely getting out ammo. I agree with what he's saying. But in this case, I think it was a case of a sprint and a finish. And sometimes when you're in that box, you wonder, could Peter have flushed that, right? Could he have tried to do rainbow reverses, leave 2 cards hanging? It's always a possibility. But I think it's just a case of it's neck and neck. And when it's neck and neck like that, the last man's going to win.
I think that's what that was right there. It was sort of that race to the finish, and whoever got there first was able to do it. And at that point, it was Coach right there, just able to pull the right sort of move there to pull out the win.
Coach up 2-0, and we know what Coach likes to do. How about this, Art? 0 self-draws for Coach. He's been on Plan A City so far. Let's see if he can go up 3-0 here. Coach, I know where we're headed, but no 11-15 for Prosperity. What do we got? Coach?
You don't hear me? Sorry, 6. My bad.
I figured, yeah, I knew we were going low, and that's what he likes to do, Art. 6 cards, test the luck. Let's see what happens. No crazy starter, though. No crazy starter. That's good news for Peter. That's no +2 or even just a regular wild to start. That's good. And there's a ditto.
Well, now let's see what happens here.
Oh.
Wait a minute here.
That's gonna work for Peter, though. That's gonna work. You want to draw. If you can't get anything going on 5 and 6 with a Plan A, a B line to the finish. The next best bet, top decks and draw city. So Coach, Peter, the Gangsta, OG of this game, Coach another OG of this game. We'll go top deck as we wait for a switch off on this Allen 9 potentially. But Peter not going to roll it. Yeah, he's just going to roll with that. Not going to roll with that.
We're at that sort of point where
there it is.
You're going to wait for that move, and there's that move.
Coach with the aggression early. You can see it, Art. He's playing aggressive. Peter just going to get that play right. He'll get it right. Yeah, definitely already got. You can sense Coach has got Peter on the ropes right now. This is as we go into the Peter card. There we go. This is interesting because we talk about comebacks, we talk about 3-0s and whatnot. This is an interesting game right now. Double play.
Good double play there by Rogers.
Is Coach running low on the blue? Did Peter save it up right? Let's find out. There's the green 5. Wow, right number at the right time for Coach. Can Peter respond up? This is the new Pandora's. Let's see. Was Peter saving anything? Or let's see.
I would think Peter would be saving something.
Oh, game.
Oh,
Didn't matter. That unfortunately there, I think ironically, Art, I don't think it would have mattered because if Peter even tries to go another 5, it wouldn't have mattered. Peter, did you have another blue than a 5 or no?
I mean, I had a reverse. I would have just taken it to yellow anyways. That's what I would have changed it off if I had a blue and yellow reverse. This is why I've learned to hate the low card starts. It puts you in such a box. And unfortunately, when your opponent has a slight advantage, it's 9 times out of 10, it seems like it's curtains.
Yeah, I mean,
which is not a fair play to call the low starts. Don't get me wrong; it is just so risky. That's why I've moved the highs.
Yeah, the high tides. Yeah, I mean that's it, right? We talk about this bot's been great on the high stuff, but when we get to low, it doesn't matter what bot you create. it's Uno. 5-8, 5-9. It's a risk every time you gamble, and sometimes you clutch up, sometimes you don't. Coach, did you get any? Oh, what am I talking about? You only had 2 self draw. Did you get a +4 off the draw, or was that off the start? Just played patience.
It was off the start. I got the blue for the 5 that I added. No, it was the green 5 that I did. Let me see what I had my original. My original was the red. I had the red 8 that I drew, and then I drew the red 9, and then from there I had it connected to the blue 9. So really, to me it was luck. I mean, it fell in the hand. Peter had that laid down a something color for me. He drew, which I didn't think he was going to after I started the red 9, and then he played the blue 7, and I had a connector for that. Then he played the blue 5, and I had a connector to the green 5, and then I just needed him not to hit me with anything crazy right there. And I had a yellow 6, and I was going to do the wild +4 yellow combo anyway, so it really didn't matter.
Drew, due to they only have a red +2 wasn't. Nah, you can't leave it open. Yeah, you can't leave it. Now, or if you leave it open on the first card on a 6, what if it's a +2 on the other end? Right, and then at the end of the day, you do that. He's playing
a good game. I mean, we're playing an even game. I mean, look at the stats. They're even. I'm just getting lucky at the end game. I mean, with a better connecting. If that makes sense.
Well, it's that 1 or 2 ammo card extra, and that's all the difference.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty even on the ammo card, honestly. But the red 4, the +4s are kind of starting to get a little bit tilted.
Yeah, and that's the risk you take. And Peter said it's just when you got 5-8, it doesn't matter what bot you use. It doesn't matter. You could put 5 cards on a table in a regular game, right, with someone shuffling. It's luck. 5-8, we've kind of already accepted. You go down low, you run the risk. Look at Cap. Look what he did. And that's all he does, really. And it works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. So, yeah, I'm not sure what to think about that. It's going to be an interesting point, Arden, to keep in mind. It's if Coach can finish this out. You would think he would go low here, but you never know.
That's one of those sort of tricky things here, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we saw Peter Onjack. He's been down before like this, 2-0s, but 3-0 would be interesting. Let's see what he can do in this game 4. But first, Coach, no 6, 11, 15. What do we got here, buddy?
Well, I'm deciding if I want to leave my low options open for if I lose this one. I think I'm going to go 7, though.
Yeah, it's still the classic OG. This is what Peter loves, Art. I mean, he loved the OG, but this is our first chance here for Roger. He's got 4 match points, really. Let's see what he can do. Retro 8 to start.
Oh, boy. This would be huge here for Rogers if he can pull out the win.
Peter's still nothing. And once again, it's the same thing. The Reds.
The Reds are just becoming the Achilles heel of Peter.
Well, that doesn't matter. Once again, that's what you want, though. We talk about 5-8. You want both players draw, but it's going to come down to. Yeah, this is going to be deja vu of the last game. Well, I don't know. This is hard to read because this is literally the last game. They drew on red at the start.
Oh, boy.
There's no red. Oh, boy. Well, Coach, we'll get a little bit. Well, he saved a little reverse action. And Peter just going to top that off with a red 3, and now we'll see the color switch happens. That's when the game will begin. There it is in the Andy.
There we go. This might be the run that both players need, but for Peter, it is necessary.
Yeah, Peter with a triple right there. That's big. Nothing from Coach. Now Peter with momentum, Art. He'll switch it into green. It's a vapor.
That's going to open up the door here for Coach.
No, it doesn't. 2 color. Might be yellow. He might only have yellow or red.
Oh, no. That is not... That's not good.
Well, does he want to play a yellow red? Because Peter might have a yellow or red. That's the thing. That's the risk you take. He's going to go for it with his own card.
He's going to take the risk and hope for the reward.
Yeah, because Peter didn't really fade off yellow. It was red. So I'm interested on this one. What will Coach have right here?
could have a big run.
Just a double.
Yeah,
Don't be crazy. Zone card again. Coach for cutting it down. Can Peter get the 2 or Uno right here? Let's see. Does Peter have something to finally break over? No, but he's got the 2.
Oh, no.
Coach, what does he have in the back pocket? Nothing, just a classic yellow 9. Peter for Uno, be the second time of the night. Let's see. Into Acosta. Nothing. Now Coach looking for the 2-3 here split, or is he drawing? What's he got in the back end? Is this it?
He's got a power play.
It's here.
Is it a sweep?
Is it a sweep, or is it going to be just a check? Let's see. Coach looking for it. Peter going to get the call out ready, I'm sure. Yellow 5. Is it a sweep, or is it going to be just a check? Let's see for Coach for the win.
Here it is.
Oh, it's got to be a +4, or it has to be. Yep, there it is.
It is.
Coach gets
Sweet.
it done. Get the brooms out.
Peter, man, I hate to win it like that, brother, but I had to pull it. I had to do it.
Gotta win how you gotta win. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It was clean play all around. You played good. I got outplayed. Hats off to you, man.
Coach, Peter, you didn't have anything that last game, right? Or was just saving grace on the yellow?
No, I needed to get 3 7s in a row without him either number efficiency or drawing a yellow, which it looks like he did. So,
yeah.
and then I could have power played into playing 2 greens, but
I had all those yellows from the beginning. I started with yellows.
You had them. You didn't draw. Okay,
Yes.
never mind.
No, I drew.
See,
I drew
it wouldn't have
blue
mattered
and red.
anyways.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, I drew. I might have. I think I drew a yellow +2. I think I played that earlier. Well, one of the plus. What did I play +2 earlier? It might have been. No, it was a skip I played. I drew that. That was all I drew.
Yeah. So it didn't really matter. It really didn't matter all 4 of these games. Honestly, it is what it is. I've been on the front foot. I'm just my turn to get on the back foot.
Well, Peter, obviously, a good season nonetheless, man. I think compared to last year, where you were just not your, we all saw, wasn't yourself. This year, though, really good season, despite just some tough losses. And do you think you go into this next year saying, okay, now I understand a base on the spot, got to clean up something? I know Sanford talked about you with the number. I don't think that was the case. It was just a case of that's what happens on 6 and 7 sometimes. Because the second game you could have easily won, but the other 3, I don't know, would have been hard to sell for sure.
Yeah, there was the one game where I could have power played, but that wasn't the case.
What are you taking to the next season? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you had more or not, but
No, you're good.
I will be back next season. Don't worry about that. This season wasn't what I wanted, but it was obviously an improvement over last year. I got 2 runs in compared to 1. Obviously, my goal is still just winning one more tournament overall. Super League's not what I'm playing for. I play tournament by tournament. I might be, one of the only players that does that. I might not be. I don't know. I can't see in 63 other people's heads, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot last year. Learned a lot this year. Honestly, I haven't been taking this as seriously as I should have, and I think it's reflected in my play. It's like sitting here all day today. It's just like I just had this dread where it's like I don't think this game is just going to go my way, and it didn't. I'm kind of a superstitious person in a couple ways, so unfortunately that turned out to be what happened, and I just got to hope for better times next year.
All right, we'll go over to Coach. Coach, I think tonight, obviously you got the up on Peter, but I think the one thing we had talked about too, man, we see it a lot in your game. You did this at Chomik. It's just that low tier, man. Was that a case of you just learned that from yourself, or did you think playing Cap, who was the master of that earlier in the year, allowed you to adapt, as Peter writes his quote?
I mean, what did I lose to Cap earlier? Was it like 4-1, 4-2, something like that? He just took me. Say what?
T1, yep, T1.
I know, but I lost like what 4-1, 4-2.
Yep.
Like he absolutely just took me to the shed and took me out back and I liked it, and I was like, you know what? If I have control, especially being the away team, if you take those 1 or 2 of those first 2 games, you have the advantage to play those short rounds and try to sneak off a couple wins. That's why I like it so much, because if you have the advantage, and yes, a lot of things have to go your way like they did for me tonight, but I think I played probably my most complete game I played all in the 3 years of me being part of this league. So I think I did pretty good, tonight. I think it's probably the best game I've ever played.
I don't know if you've played
Hey, that
Sapir.
game.
Your thoughts on playing Sapir? He's a guy that likes to get a lot of top deck luck. How you gonna try to limit that? Because that's gonna be an interesting challenge ahead.
I think we have opposite strategies. I think that I like to play with what I get from the beginning, and I don't draw a lot. Like a lot of people take draw back and like to take advantage of the loot that is out there. I like to use what I have and get closer to the end because I would rather I would rather be closer to the end than farther away. I don't want to draw myself back. I would rather pull myself in. So I think Tapir kind of likes to do that draw city tactic, and I'm not so big on that. I like to use what I have in front of me when I get this game started.
Final thoughts, Coach. How do you keep playing the sport? What is it? Just the house? You're a basketball guy. You're basically in March Madness mode, right? One game at a time. How do you take that house money mentality into the next round too? Because there's not a lot of guys that had one win. I think you're the first guy to have, or DJ, you and DJ, one win to win, the second win. How do you carry that over to Pierre as well? Because he has everything to lose. You have nothing to lose.
Um, that's the thing. I have nothing to lose. These people are playing for their lives, especially the closer you get to the end of the tournament. Going to the second round, I'm gonna be playing people who might or might not be going to Super League. So I got to understand that they're fighting for something and I'm not. So I have more risk to take. I think a lot of people save their ammo a little bit too much in this league. They try to save it for the end. I try to use it early and take advantage of it early. So I think that's one thing that's in my back pocket that people don't really do.
That's interesting, Art. We talk about that. I think that's a good philosophy for sure. Obviously, it doesn't work for every player because some guys, when you get to Plan B, I think for Coach, if he can get those Plan 8.5 games, though, that's what we saw tonight. We didn't really get to a Plan C. It was maybe a couple Plan Bs. If you can get to those Plan A, B, yeah, using ammo early, you're going to probably profit off of that. But when we get to Plan B, C, D, which we know Tapir knows, how are you going to size that one up here for the next round? And your thoughts on this match overall tonight?
Well, this was way different than how I was expecting it. Jeez, I think once Coach got control, he just kept it holding on and just kept riding with it. We'll just have to look forward on that. With him going on to the next round against Severe. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but man, it just kind of a tough way for Peter to go out.
Yeah, I'll read this quote here before we get off the air. And he basically said, "Hard to bounce back on low tier. Carl, when I changed my game all the way to the high tiers. It was a rough series, but it was honestly a wake-up call for my 2026. Hopefully be better, and best of luck on Rogers. The quote isn't the best, but it's whatever. Just come from my mind right. Did what I thought was best, but I'm playing with mentality. It does not see deep into tournaments. I need to work on that for next year. Also a shame because my series are usually solid, but this one was a dud for a stream. For the series overall, I got outplayed by the littlest of margins. That was the difference between a 4-0 and a 4-3 probably. And I know if I lost in 7 I would have seen this as a wake-up call. I needed to. There were plenty of you who will write me off after this for sure now, but I'm not down. Yeah, I'm not going to write him off hard, and the simple reason is, remember, Peter last year was down the dumps. But he was... Sure, the old bot probably killed a lot of people's mentality, but then once we got to those practice cups, the new bot, we saw what he could do. He beat the March champion, Nick. He can't really take solace and say, oh, it was a bad year. He had a good year, and I think it's going to come down to two things, right? Just clean up mental errors. We saw that with Rip, the power play there. And then the goal game, right? I thought for sure he had, and if he wins that goal game, we're talking about Peter right there. You take those one-possession games. We always show that one graphic, if every 4-3 was turned, every one possession game was turned in the opposite direction. We're talking about Peter at 8 wins right now, 7-8 wins, and this is a whole different combo. Even if he loses here, he's got a damn good resume to be contending with Super League. So it's micro margins in this league. 100 people, 100 Star Club is over 40 plus people. You have people now at 20. I don't know if I told you, Peter. 27 people now have a medal in this league. 27. That's insane, right there. That's 27 people, and you got to think that's over a third of the field. You're definitely getting into astronomical numbers, so it will continue to be like that, I think, as the league ages, and Peter's a racing guy. As the track ages, what does it do? It widens out, it gets better. Same thing with this league. As the league ages, the people's skills widen and get better, and they go from there. So I'm interested to see how it'll be. Coach will write a quote. We'll see if he says anything on air, but I'll go quickly to the Apocalyptic August Zombie region. It's the same 2-7, but it's going to be a 3-11 Tapir versus Rogers. Should be a good one. The only upset of this region, as of now, there was, I think, something else that happened, but or that might have been 8-9. That's whatever on that one. But big upset for Coach, big win. We go to the schedule. I don't know what's going on with Nick and Steven. I'm going to assume they're getting ready to play, or I don't really know, but we'll see. I'll check on that later. It does look like Steven checked it. Okay, so they haven't played yet. We're waiting for him to get back to his car. Got it. All right, but regardless, for myself and Art, what a night it's been. Tomorrow, or before we sign off, the schedule goes as follows. It's going to be hopefully a Seaman Radden. We know Radden, well, hopefully can play. There's been some rumors with that, with some VPN stuff, but hopefully he doesn't mess around and he'll be able to play that game tomorrow. Then, probably the big one here, Abian and Zach will be, of course, 2 o'clock. That's a newly added game for sort of the old 413. Then the big one, tomorrow, 7:30. Yepez, JT, that is going to be an insane one. You're on the booth call that one. Those two guys, legends. Yepez fighting for Super League. JT still looking for that first win on the year. That's improbable to say. And then finally, go ahead.
I'm going to say that's going to be a good one. Can't wait to watch that.
And then lastly, hopefully Camaro plays. It'll be Camaro Sanford, 8 o'clock. That one, unfortunately, with Camaro's schedule, even if we tried to stream, it wasn't going to be streamed. So that's going to conclude tonight. It's been a long day. We started this coverage all the way at 11 o'clock, 10:45. It's now almost 9:30 on the East Coast, so that's going to conclude our 11-hour plus day of Uno. Thank you for all for watching. Thank you to Coach. Thank you to Peter. Thank you to Ryoshi for reffing. We saw Art today as well. Thanks to Eli for covering earlier. Really good day on the table. Really good day in general. Appreciate you guys. Keep it rocking for Apocalyptic August. We're almost halfway through now, halfway through the first round. We'll finish up most of the round tomorrow, and Friday will be the tomorrow and Thursday will be the big days, and Friday, Saturday we'll close this out as we go to round 2. For all of us here, we'll see you tomorrow around 2 o'clock with Zach and Abian. Have a great night and stay safe. This has been a presentation of MRE Uno Division 1.